On March 23rd, 2006, the world was forever changed with the outcoming of the Secret movie and Secret book, selling over 35 to 40 million copies and tens of millions of more watching the actual movie. The idea and the golden formula in The Secret was be, do, have, and you can ask for what you want, and as long as you believe in it, you're going to receive it. Now, there's a lot more in-depth explanation of what the law of attraction is and that golden formula, but the idea behind ask, believe, receive is all about frequency level. And wherever frequency you're at right now actually tells you exactly what you're attracting into your life. The world around you, if you look around your home, your office, your place right now, everything is a level of vibration and energy overall. So at a scientific level, electrons are moving at such a rapid pace that actually everything, your walls, your furniture, your desk, your office chair, the food in your refrigerator, the car you're driving in, is actually moving at an extremely rapid pace, but you just can't see that it is. It looks and appears to be solid. But our world is a vibrational world. Our world is a world of energy movement, and therefore you and I are both energy movements itself as well. Every time you think a thought, it operates on a certain level of frequency, and your conscious awareness of the way you feel every day is the vibration you are in. So basically, the vibration you're in other words, is the feeling you're in. Feeling and vibration are the same. And if we want to manifest something into our life, we have to remember that vibration precedes or comes before the manifested result. So what is it about this frequency thing? How do we shift frequencies into a frequency that's more desirable, a frequency that's more prosperity driven, a frequency that has more miracles on it? It all comes back to what you're thinking. Thought is the connecting link between your physical self and the spiritual self. And that link is the link that drives motion and creation forward. So what's really important as you start to shift your level of frequency and elevate it is understanding how do you elevate your thoughts and feelings. So if feeling and vibration are the same, and if your level of frequency is a vibration in itself, we have to think in terms of how can I better my thinking? How can I better my feeling? One of the greatest techniques out there on increasing your frequency is what Abraham Hicks, the amazing master teacher, calls rampaging, or what I've adopted to also become total faith talks. Essentially what you do is you talk about what is. You talk about where you're at in life truthfully and honestly. Let's do an example around money. I may say out loud, I'm feeling pretty frustrated around money. My money progress is a little slow. I have $5,000 in my bank accounts total, and I don't like it. I want a lot more. So I start talking about what is. It's honest. You don't have to sugarcoat it. It's direct. It's blunt. Here's where I am. And then you take the next move to increase your feeling to a better feeling state. For example, hope is better than frustration. And let me put a little note in here. It's not necessarily better or worse. Feelings are not actually negative or positive. They're just teachers telling you and guiding you on where you're at internally. So frustration, anger, rage, those are not bad things, and they're not disempowering emotions. The behavior that follows can be disempowering or empowering. So if I'm somebody who's in anger and I lash out or project onto others, it's not the anger that was a problem, it was the behavior. So we just want to talk about that first and foremost, to remember that feelings are not themselves a problem. If I'm really happy and I have happy behavior that follows, the behavior was empowering, not the actual emotion itself. The emotion is an indicator, it is a guide. As we move up the scale of frequency, you start to think, what are more empowering feelings? What's one more step above frustration? That may be feeling hopeful. So I may then say out loud, after I said where I'm at, I may then say out loud, even though these circumstances are going, I am hopeful that they're going to change. I am hopeful that things are going to get better. I know that I've had good things happen in the past, and I know I'm challenged right now, so I do hold the hope and expectation that things will move forward better. You see, so I'm easing off of my situation, and I'm starting to get into hope. What I might do from hope is start thinking in terms of a little bit more happiness or a little bit more joy or expectation. So then I'll talk about, well, just by me talking out loud right now, I'm starting to feel happier. I'm starting to feel more joyful overall. The reason is because I'm also feeling and knowing the understanding that I am a vibrational being. I do have creative movement forward, and I can have intentions and have them be manifested into my life. I do expect good things to happen. I do believe in the teachings of law of attraction, manifestation, what Scott talks about on these videos. I do believe in the possibilities. I know right now, my circumstances right now are temporary. They may be very hard, but I'm feeling expectation positively that things are moving in the right direction. I'm starting to feel very joyful that I remember that I'm a spiritual being. I know the universe has my back. I know that good things have happened in my life. So you see what I'm doing there? I'll pause. I went from frustration to hope to more happiness and joy. And I did that merely through talking out loud. All of my words, when I say them out loud, are thoughts in movement or thought in action. So every single time I'm moving the energy through my words, I'm increasing my frequency of expectation. I am increasing my frequency of standard. And what I can really talk about is how I'm starting to feel better, how I know things can get better, how I can really move in it. Now, when we're really stuck in a rut, I may be depressed, angry, down and out. I have so much momentum carrying myself down into that hole that this exercise may be difficult. So you just want to stay on hope. Don't even go to joy, just stay on hope. But the idea here again is I'm increasing my frequency of expectation of the thing. You can do this for any area of life. Increasing your expectation around sales and closes if you have a business. Increasing your expectation of attracting in that soulmate or specific person into your life. Attracting in something that you've been desiring for a while but hasn't come. What we're doing here is allowing yourself to be in alignment with your intention and with your desire overall. As we're starting to increase our frequency level, we're going to fuse with our desires. And our desires are in a higher frequency. In order for us to actually manifest a new house, a new car, a person, an amount of money, what I need to first do is start to find expectation in the thing I'm going towards. Essentially what you're doing here as well is you're shifting yourself into a parallel reality that thing that you do want already is activated and there and available. So effectively when you're increasing your frequency, what we're really saying is I'm rearranging my consciousness level to be in alignment with my desired parallel reality. Or in other words, putting even more simply, I'm rearranging my mindset in order to arrange it towards my goals, in order to arrange it towards my intentions, in order to arrange it towards my desires. Over 100 years ago, Napoleon Hill, the master thinker, master teacher who wrote Think and Grow Rich, Laws of Success, and so many other great works, he talks about this in his faith principle, which is principle number 2 in Think and Grow Rich. He talks about mixing emotion with thought is the chemical response needed to drop the thought idea from the conscious mind down to the subconscious, where ultimately it will start to manifest on the physical plane. So when you're thinking in terms of frequency increase, you're also increasing your belief, you're also increasing your faith. And once your faith matches your expectation of a desire, it's going to move into form. I want you to think about something that you've manifested in your life thus far. Something that might have been challenging or hard at first, but you found a way to manifest. A chunk of money, first time you bought a home or got a new place, the first time you got a sale if you're in business or a client or your 10th client, the first time you attracted in a job, the first time you attracted in a partner, spouse, somebody that you've been wanting, the first time you manifested a text from a friend you haven't heard from in a long time, the first time you found $5 on the ground and manifested that, whatever, how small or big the thing was, I want you to think about that. And before you actually got the thing, on a level of 1 to 10, 10 being I expected it perfectly, and 1 being I didn't expect it at all, how would you rate yourself if you were very honest with the feeling level that you went to? Well, if you really reflect on it, honestly, you're going to be an 8 and above. Everybody who manifests something on a feeling level expected it. Now, consciously, you may say, well, I didn't expect to find $5 on the ground today, Scott. I didn't think about it. I didn't even think about it in my morning. I didn't even intend for it to happen. It just happened. Right, I understand that. That's consciously. Subconsciously, we're talking about feeling. And that day, you might have actually expected something good to happen to you, something unexpected, positive coming into your life, something in terms of finding a sign or a signal from the universe. And that $5 was a representation of the state and standard and expectation that you held, and boom, it came into your life. Does that make sense? So essentially what we're doing here is every expectation will meet with a result, but it's at the feeling subconscious level that we have to get to. I can say all I want all day. I expect a miracle to happen today. I expect myself to bring in an extra $1 million today. I expect my perfect soulmate partner to come into my life today. I can say those words or think those thoughts, but if I don't feel it to be true today, it doesn't actually increase my frequency, and I'm not actually expecting it at a subconscious level. I gotta feel it to my core, in my heart, that it's already a done deal. I gotta feel as if it's entirely done and there's no question. There's no doubt, there's no worry, there's not scariness. I just know it's going to happen. It's that burning desire feeling. I know it's going to happen and I really want it to happen, but I don't even care if it does happen because I know it's going to. It sounds a little bit backwards and catch-22, but what we're really saying here is I'm unattached to it happening because I already know it's going to happen. I don't have doubts, I don't have worries, I don't even have fears. It's just here for me to actually grab onto and ask for. As you start to increase that frequency level and get into that expectation of subconscious, again, the thought from the conscious is going to drop into subconscious. And what this is all around us is a plastic substance, as called in the Science of Getting Rich book. The plastic substance is moldable, it's shapeable, and this thinking plastic substance will allow you to actually morph the reality around you. Now, a lot of this sounds so much metaphysical and you can't really understand it, but what you really need to just understand at a simple spot only is that everything around you is not stagnant. Everything around you is not actually solid. Everything around you does not have to be your way of living forever. There's another way. Everything around you is not permanent. Everything around you can be shaped and molded where you want to go in this lifetime. The other little part to this is you have to be patient because you have to be consistent also with elevating your frequency. I talked about earlier in the video momentum. If I have a negative momentum, it's not really negative, but we'll call it disempowering momentum. These are just word labels. Bringing myself into a hole, down and out. I can start moving my momentum into a different direction, but it takes consistent effort to do so. And that's the challenging part to this. I actually work with my students on an elevation technique. That's actually a secret technique I don't actually share with everybody, even here on the YouTube channel. It's one of the most potent techniques. So rearrange your mind literally in 15 minutes according to what you want. It's quite magical, and it's like a miracle that actually even occurs and actually works. It's a very deep healing realignment technique that most people don't even know about, nor teach or understand. So 15 minutes and boom, it can shift. But I'm not mentioning it here because it'll be hours and hours long to explain. What we do need to understand though is your mind can shift in 15 minutes or less. It can, and it can shift very, very quickly. That's all you need to start doing is think a new thought. Your momentum is going to try and carry you backwards to that space. But your job is to stay consistent. Let me think a new thought. Let me find a new feeling. Let me find a new action to go towards. What can that look like for me? Ultimately, as you elevate this frequency, the universe is going to respond. And that's how the law of attraction really works. The underlying redevelopment of your consciousness, realignment of your faith, allowing your belief to actually match your receiving of the thing, your confidence and expectation that that thing is already yours and going to happen. And then simultaneously, the universe's plastic substance morphs itself in conjunction with the thing you've been asking for. This isn't magic, it's science. Scientifically, at a quantum level, this can all be described and explained. And there's so many experiments out there that we can see that thoughts will change the outcome of things. If I think a thought one way, thought A, or I think a thought B, it will change the outcome of what occurs. It's the observer effect. So just because we can't see any of this doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Think about how a cell phone exists, or think about how Wi-Fi works, or think about how radiation, even though we can't see it, gives you a sunburn if you're out in the sun for too long. How does all this occur? It's all on the invisible side. But at one time, people like Alexander Bell and people that allowed themselves to understand that there's a universal force, but also an invisible force around us, and we can harness it, unleash it, and utilize it, really brings us to a different elevated level overall. Now, if you really enjoyed this video, I have a couple other videos very close to this that will piece together all of the secrets of the law of attraction, including parallel reality manifesting, identity, self-image shifting, and secrets around money, manifesting $100,000. Those links will be in the comment below in the description as well. Check those out, because the more you can ingrain this level of awareness into your mind, the faster you're ultimately going to manifest. Because as you elevate your awareness, as you elevate your presence with the understanding of this knowledge and application of the knowledge, that's when things click. That's when the frequency level drives forward. That's when you start to elevate who you are. It's all about embodying a higher level identity and self-image, which is a frequency itself. Every frequency band has a certain circumstance, situation, and set of rules and regulations in that frequency band that you experience. So when you shift your frequency band, you elevate your consciousness, you elevate your thinking, you elevate your feeling, everything that we've talked about today, you're going to start witnessing a different set of rules. You're going to witness a different set of beliefs, a different set of happenings, a different set of circumstances in your life, which are going to be very pivotal in you moving forward. So it all comes back down to what we talked about from The Secret: ask, believe, receive. Most people can ask all day. They have their goals, they have their New Year's resolutions, they have their to-do lists, their intentions. Everything is already done. But the believe side of it, that's where everybody, seemingly, most people at least, really come to a spot where they don't actually believe in what they want. There's a difference between believing I'm going to get something and believing I already have it. If you're saying, I'm not worried, it'll come in time, I know it'll happen, you're actually not believing all the way and you're not on the correct frequency. What we need to say instead is, I already have it energetically. I already have it vibrationally. I already have it spiritually as a prototype. That right there is the expectation you need to ultimately project the plots, plans, strategies, and things in the universe to help you coincide with the ultimate desires that you've been looking to manifest into your life. So every day, practice that technique of increasing your frequency. Every day, rewatch this video. And if you've been watching some of my other videos for 60 days straight, keep going with that. But if you're new to our channel or you're ready to visit another video like this and rewatch it, I encourage you to watch this video every day for 60 days straight. Get it ingrained in your mind, your level of awareness. You want to become this information. You don't want to binge watch YouTube videos and go on to the next and next and listen to 100 videos today. Instead, learn to embody, learn to implement, learn to become it. And one of the best ways to do it is repetition of the same knowledge, the same video over and over and over. So I encourage you for 60 days, over and over, listen to this while doing the faith increasing techniques. And in the comments below, say day 1 complete, day 2 done, day 3 done, to keep yourself accountable to making sure 60 days of this level of awareness is completed. Like I mentioned, I would definitely jump into our next videos after you watch this one over and over for 60 days around parallel realities, manifesting money, $100,000. But in the law of attraction secrets category, you're gonna really allow yourself to become a very different identity overall. You're gonna become somebody that lives and breathes this information and ultimately receives what they want with a lot more flow overall. Scott Haug signing off here. I look forward to seeing your 60 days of accountability in the comments below.